Good afternoon, everyone. I'm the Queen, Jordan Pulliam, and with me is the King, Matt Temple.
We only have one announcement this week, and that's to be a buddy and not a bully for Bully Prevention Week, or you will be thrown in the Royal Dungeon.
Now that's a good announcement for me to know for the rest of my life. Now let's throw it over to Nick Parton and the rest of the Top 5 gang.
Thanks, guys. This is Top 5 Things of the Week. So you better buckle in your seatbelt because you're about to be amazed. So kicking off the list at number 5 is the blood donations, reported by Bretton Bowman.
Thanks, Nick. Behind these doors, people are saving lives by donating blood. I caught up with the president of FCCLA, Heidi Killinger, to see what the blood drive actually is.
The blood drive is for people to donate blood to save lives. Usually we have like 30 people generally around there that give blood, and it saves like 3 lives per person that gives blood.
Now that we know what the blood drive actually is, it's time for me to go donate some blood. That's all for me, Bretton Bowman, KCAT News.
Wow, great story, Britton. It's good to hear that people are willing to stick needles in their arms and give blood for a good cause. Now, number 4 is back onto our play progress with the production of Urinetown, being covered by Abby Horsley.
With minor setbacks, the cast and crew of Urinetown has came back and on track. With a little over a month left until their big performance, they will continue to work hard, and we can't wait to see what they have in store. Abby Horsley, KCAT News.
Thanks, Abby. The upcoming play sounds like it'll be a great one to see. Coming in at number 3 is Lane Becker with the smoothies at the Wildcat Cafe.
Hello, and I'm Lane Becker, and whether you're aware of it or not, there's a little bit of a rivalry brewing here in MHS between the Lunch Ladies and the Wildcat Cafe. I'm going to try both of their smoothies and tell you which one's better right now.
I'm going to try these. One's from the Wildcat Cafe, one's from the cafeteria. They tasted the exact same.
Well, at the end of the day, you could probably tell by our testers that the smoothies tasted very similar. Probably because they were the exact same smoothies. This taste test wasn't about the taste of the smoothies. It was about the taste of the dedication that the Wildcat Cafe shows towards making every smoothie for every student here at MHS. That's all for me. Lane Becker, KCAT News.
That was a neat story, Lane. It sounds like everyone will want to get their smooth on. Now on to number 2 with sports recap is Sean Benefield.
Hey guys, the volleyball team traveled to Clearwater on Thursday to take on the Indians as well as the Circle T-Birds. The team unfortunately dropped both matches in 2 sets to bring their current record to 5-23 heading into their tournament in Circle on Saturday. Moving on to soccer, the boys have dropped their past 3 games in a row by 1 goal apiece and look to get back on track against El Dorado last night, but we'll have that result for you next week. As I'm sure you know, last Friday's home football game versus Circle was homecoming, so I caught up with senior defensive lineman / homecoming king candidate Evan McElravy for a better perspective.
This game is probably going to be one of the only games that I remember further off into my life. Coach Van always says that you don't really remember all the other smaller games. You only remember your senior homecoming and really the last game that you play.
In the game itself, the Wildcats jumped out to an early 21-0 lead in the first quarter, and the Circle team never really could recover. After 3 touchdowns from Jaden Price and Keaton Shoemaker and 1 touchdown apiece from Ethan Evans and Rodney Engstrand, the Wildcats ended up showing their dominant performance on the scoreboard with a final score of 55-7. The girls' golf team took home 3rd place as a team at Winfield on Tuesday, with Brianna McGee placing 3rd individually. This was the girls' 3rd straight top 3 finish, so the girls seem to be in peak form heading into the home stretch of the season. That's all I've got. Back to you, Nick.
That was a great story, Sean. Thanks for bringing that one home. Now back to me with number 1. As you know, this past Friday was homecoming, where the annual traveling pep assembly went above and beyond to pump up every generation of Mulvane students to get ready for the game. Each year, the candidates, band, KCAT, cheerleaders, and the involved seniors get together and travel to each Mulvane school to show off performances, as well as hyping up the students from all ages for the game that evening. After the first half of the Mulvane versus Circle game was the annual homecoming ceremony.
Fall homecoming king is Mr. Matt Temple. And the 2015 Mulvane High School Fall homecoming queen is Miss Jordan Pulliam.
Mr. Mitchell's daughter, Alexis Mitchell, and Mrs. Gutzmer's grandson, Brody Merritt, presented the king and queen with their crowns and the flowers for the queen and the other senior queen candidates. The ceremony was closed with a good old peck. Jordan and Matt are the first couple to win the king and queen that are also in KCAT together.
It was rigged like the whole time. We knew we were just going to win. It was pretty obvious. I mean, two KCATers. I mean, we control the school through social media and stuff.
Oh my. I wouldn't say we knew it was rigged, but I don't know. It's pretty cool that we're both in KCAT. I don't know. My house was a really good. Shout out to whoever did it. I have a really big tree, and so it was like really good. And they got my dad's truck, and like everything was just like strung across my driveway, so it was good.
That's all I have for this week's Top 5. Back to you guys.
Wow, I'm blown away. Fantastic job, guys. Next, we have the bully prevention video with Carson and Joaquin.
Thanks, guys. As you may or may not have known, this past week was Bully Prevention Week. It's common knowledge to know that bullying is a huge problem that affects thousands all over. But how substantial are the results? Well, we had Myers' AP Stats class work together to find some rather interesting bullying statistics here at MHS and to see how well they stack up on the average high school students in America in order to find out how big of an issue bullying is at our school. The AP Stats class handed out surveys of 35 to 35 people, and here are the results. Starting off with the most broad question, have you ever been bullied? 53% of MHS students said yes, where nationally 77% of people in America said yes. Off to a pretty decent start, but moving on to our second question, has bullying altered your life in any way? Looking at the MHS statistics, 36% of students have said that bullying has affected their life. When we compare this to the national statistic, 33% of them have said the same thing. Looking at those numbers, we see that we have dropped the ball a little bit, but finally for the last question, do you know someone who has been or currently is being bullied? Here at MHS, 78% of students know someone who has been a bully victim. Comparing these stats to the United States, we see that 72% of high school students know a former or current bully victim. Looking at the results, we have potentially more bullying activity here at MHS. But now keep in mind, these statistics are 35 students versus the entire high school students in America, which is about 5 million. However, it does not ignore the fact that bullying is an issue and it needs to be addressed. If you are someone who is negatively affected by bullying, it is very important that you speak to an adult and that you let them know of the situation that you are in. As for help at our school, we have the counselors as well as Dr. Ensley and Mrs. Wilson that are always available in the office to help. And if you are someone who sees bullying happening, make sure to step in, help out, and notify an adult as well. When we follow these guidelines, we ensure that bullying here at MHS will eventually become a thing of the past. Carson Turner, KCAT News, back to you guys.
That is truly something that everyone needs to recognize and speak up about. Well, finally, the moment you all have been waiting for, it's Wildcat Weather with Austin Fawnensteel.
When I count to three, I want you to get busy. You ready now? 1, 2, 3.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, Austin.
Hey,
Austin.
Hey, Austin. Hey, Austin.
Hey, Austin.
Hey, Austin. What's the weather look like for the football game against A&L Friday night?
Today, we will have a high of 70 degrees with partly cloudy skies and a northern wind at 5 to 10 miles per hour. During kickoff, it will be 65 degrees, and by the end of the game, it will be 61 degrees. Overnight lows will drop to 50 degrees.
Hey, Austin, what's the Wildcat weather for the volleyball tournament this Saturday?
Saturday, we will see mainly clear skies with a high of 77 degrees, with southerly winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. But for those of you who will be inside watching the volleyball game, temperatures will fare just slightly cooler at 72 degrees with fluorescent lighting and light AC winds at less than 5 miles per hour.
What is the limit of f of x as x approaches Sunday?
Sunday will be sunny and warm. To find the temperature, we must solve for x. If we subtract 14 from 100, one can clearly see that x equals 86 degrees.
Hey Austin, what's my Wildcat weather going to be for the soccer game on Monday?
On Monday, it will once again be sunny and warm. Our goal is to see a high of 81 degrees. The rest of next week looks to be seasonably warm with temperatures in the 80s. So once again, thanks to all our guests on this week's Wildcat Weather. Remember, if you want to be on our weekly Wildcat Weather forecast, keep sending in your requests and you just might appear on the show. Have a good weekend, and I cannot wait to see you back here next Thursday.
Austin's weather always brightens my day. Well, guys, that's all we have for this week. For Queen Jordan Pulliam, I'm King Matt Temple. See you here next week. So, seriously though, how was it?
Do you really want to know?
That's fine.
Cut it! Cut it!